trip begin with a sunny day 25th October 2010, from Doropeti with the Camp 1 through open and flat savanna. It was fun track for cyclists, contrast with our teammates who rushing walk to avoid sooner radiation. The fun for them begin when we had entered the forest. We take a rest a while in Camp 1 about 1 hour. We have our first lunch in between Camp 1 and Camp 2 just a couple minutes before Cupex's rear wheel had deflated. He was then chosen not to fix it until we reached the caldera. After Camp 1, the jungle became denser. Instead of riding our bike, it was the bike which riding on us. We were getting slower in a dense and humid forest. The first day of this trip ended in the twilight. We agreed to open our tent and take a rest in open area deep in the jungle, walking in the dense forest with bicycle in the night, as we are all agreed that night is dangerous or at least far from fun. In the second day, 26th October 2010, we still struggle with the dense forest for an hours. Escape from a dense forest, our favorite creatures had been waiting for: leeches rising from dead leaves, leeches using our wheel as elevator to reach us. Surely this is the first time they met bicycle. Camp 2 had situated in middle of heaven of leeches. We not have our lunch here because of no one interested. We just eat the papaya and walk again. Try to reach Camp 3 before evening. When the sun had set, we had already escaped from Leech's area but failed to reach Camp 3. Exhausted during second day trip, we agreed to open our tent just above Leech's area. Actually Camp 3, nearly only about 1 hour walk above our position, but with bicycle and stinging nettle that has been waiting for, it would have needed 3 hours or more to reach that campsite. After late dinner, Cupex turned on his smartphone. Suddenly his gadget had been flooded with bad news. South Pugai Island in Manduai had been struck by earthquake and tsunami, claimed many lives. Second bad news was about Mount Merapi in middle of Java. The pyroclastic flow had destroyed one of higher hamlet in the southern slope, claimed lives, including Merijan. He is one of prominent person for people of Merapi. Both location is special for me. In 2007 I had trained some student of Manduai in Cyber Island to make and launch water rocket. Hike Merapi for 6 times. Also have friend who living in Merapi. The third day, 27th October 2010, was the toughest part. Our water supplies had short. We take a rest a while in Camp 3 and try wild strawberry. The panoramic scenery is beautiful here. We can see both summit and Doropeti from here.
Rasanya manis.
Rasanya manis.
Iya.
Soon after Camp 3, and the worst part has come. The track became steeper open, and there were stinging nettle everywhere. Our water supplies quickly drained due sunny day. We had instant noodle as breakfast, but the power of noodle lasts just in 2-hour walk. At noon, we have our lunch in camp. For the scenery from here was really stunning. What a wonderful place to have lunch, but also heralded the toughest and dangerous part ahead. The path ahead was the most steeper and dangerous. We will walk through a valley surrounded by cliff. Please be mindful, but that advice seems contradict with another fact. The part of cliff, the path almost free from fallen branch. It is possible to ride with care, starting from camp. For notice, I'm not suggest you to ride here unless you are really experienced in downhill. No matter how valuable and advanced your bike. Experienced means you know better than anyone in this planet about your skills. Your track at clamp by steep cliff, and once you're slipped you are surely hurt, even at an instant. The downhill part ended right in the middle of valley. The next path is the steepest, according to John. Actually, it is possible to camp in middle of valley, but with bicycle. The next day will begin with toughest part. Instead of camping, John was forcing us to attack the steepest part that evening. Just before sunset, we had reached the edge of caldera. The steepest, toughest, and dangerous part has passed, and the sunset scenery becomes snack for our eyes. Our camp, later called Caldera Camp, rising less than 12 meters from caldera edge. Wind has attacking our camp by night, freezing our interest to rejoice this moment with big dinner. I cannot sleep that night, exiting starving, and also anxious about my brake system. My bike has using fluid brake. It is surely safe for ride, but threatened by wind to freeze. Do my brake system can hold on?